Great job.
Forward one slide. There.
This is my presentation. I like it. Yeah. All right, Danny, this is a personal discussion I have to have with Danny first. This is the kind of confession. I think 10 years ago when you started the TED Talks, and I got your email, and I actually got something that said the reunion's coming, and then I got something to fill out the information, and then go to the TED Talk, and then do that. I did none of those things 10 years ago. I wanted to come down and party with my friends and didn't want to be bothered with learning. I wanted to have fun. And so, you know, and then you did, 5 years ago, we did the Duke class and the Duke camp. And I also remember Lane Wagenseller, Laura Peresky. And I said, okay, I'm going to go this time because the reviews after the TED Talk were, this is incredible. I'm like, I think I might have lied to you and said, oh, yeah, I went to the TED Talks. Yeah, I didn't go. But then I saw Lane and Laura and all these people doing this crazy stuff, and it was just super inspiring. So I'm like, wow, I missed out on something. So luckily, in October, I get the email, and as soon as I got the email, I answered it. I filled it out. In fact, I got claim credit for I was the first one that, yeah, exactly. So I was like, I'm not fucking this thing up this time around. So maybe I've learned a little bit. My wife says maybe I haven't, but maybe I have learned a little bit. So my story starts out with there's a Muslim, a Jew, and a Christian walking in the woods. It sounds like it started a joke, but this is actually what happened. I love to build stuff. I love to build stuff. I said in my profile, I instigated and nurtured 5 companies and 2 kids, while my wife nurtured and instigated me. So I'm just hugely a fan of building stuff and build all sorts of things. So I got into building trails. But I'm a wildcatter, right? I just do it on my own. I don't ask for permission. I just go ahead and do it. So I built this very extensive trail system in my old neighborhood, and including a suspension bridge that actually named after my dad. And I did it all myself. You know, I took nobody's permission. I did it. It did happen to be on federal lands. There's another problem. And so 2 years in, I'm so proud. I had 10,000 people over the bridge, and there's a notice on the thing. This is federal lands. You need to destroy this bridge within like 2 weeks. So the bridge is gone. I was very, very sad. It was awful. So I moved to Durham because I was living in Chapel Hill. So I was loving living in Durham. And I got a great idea. I'm like, I'm going to build another trail. This is great. It goes from my house in Forest Hills all the way to American Tobacco. This is amazing. And then I look at the map. I'm like, oh, my God. This is not on land that I can build a trail on. There's a Muslim cemetery in between where I want to go, and there's also a black church right here. And so I'm like, how am I going to do this? I'm like, I did this once. It didn't work out very well. And so I was really struggling. But what am I going to do? I really want to do this, but I'm a wildcatter by nature. I'm kind of stuck here. And I got the email in October, and I'm like, okay, screw it. I'm gonna push my boundaries. I'm actually going to try to do this the right way. Try to ask for a little bit of permission, and so I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna call the mosque. I'm gonna get working with the city. And the thing I realized is, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, what am I gonna? I mean, this is kind of scary. I'm like, why am I scared? I risk way too much money on my companies to build them. I jump out of airplanes. I go on adventure trips. Why am I scared? And I realized I'm pushing my boundaries. I'm doing stuff I'm not comfortable with. I never actually had a Muslim friend. I didn't even interact with that community at all. And I think the other thing is I didn't want to work with city government. I just was really like out of my comfort zone. And I'm like, this kind of feels good. I feel alive, right? I'm pushing my boundaries. I'm not warm and comfortable doing my own thing, building my own trail by myself. I'm actually pushing my boundaries and trying to work with others. And and so I meet this guy, Nazi, who's the cleric at the mosque. It took me like 2 months to get to him, 3 weeks. And I meet him, and I'm nervous. I'm like, whatever. And the guy is unbelievable. First of all, he's just like out of heaven. Like he loves building trails himself. He was telling me about his trip to Mecca where they'd found some super special trail to get there. So he's all fired up. He's also an urban planner. So he's like, oh my God, this is amazing. The next thing I come to find out is that he wants to build a trail from his mosque to the cemetery, which is right along my trail. And so it's all of a sudden like, wow. I mean, I pushed my boundaries. I found this guy, and it was just phenomenal. And now he's a friend of mine. It was great. So I think the lesson, I'm trying to kind of weave this into lessons. The lessons are, push your boundaries. Like this is our 35th year. I think I learned is like keep pushing your boundaries. And I think I go back to Lane and Laura and Mark Simpson did a great speech. Like this is great. This is all inspiring. Like my whole point out here is just like push your boundaries. We got to keep doing it. We're 35. I think sometimes reason and experience gets in the way of. I am. What are you talking about? Come on. How? And I think the other thing is if you have a spark or something that you kind of want to do, I think reason and experience kind of gets in the way as we get older. And he's kind of like, oh, well, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I did that for a while. And I think all this whole group, we can all work together on helping. And then Danny's done such a good job with this. Like he guilted me into doing this, but inspire the spark. Like let it grow and do something that you're comfortable with. Be a wolf out alone exploring things instead of a sheep in the middle of the herd. And so I think that was a great lesson on this whole thing is to push your boundaries. And I think that just listening to your spark taught me a lot. It taught me that the biggest thing it taught me is, first of all, building a trail, it's going to be awesome. In 5 years, I'll probably be done because I got to still work with the city and everything. So I didn't actually accomplish it yet. It's going to be a long way away. But I think the thing that was most cool about it is just connecting with other people. Like, wow. Like, I literally, one of my neighbors, I'm now in a book club with him, and I would never have done a book club. And it was pretty cool. I mean, because we built the trail together, and he said, okay, come to the book club. All right, okay, I'll come. I'm whatever. So all these things have come from it that are just so cool. The other thing is, I met another guy that when I was building the trail that was, he ended up being he was the first engineer in a naval nuclear submarine. So I ended up having like a 3-hour conversation. I would never have done that. That was just so outside of my boundaries of what I was thinking about. I've got a good friend of the city government. And now, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I know my business partners, Jay and Chris, are here. They're laughing. Like, I'm now going to be on the Durham Open Spaces and Trails Commission, which is super bureaucratic. Like, Wildcatter over here, being in a bureaucratic situation over here. So I think the 3 takeaways I have from this whole process is like, instigate, inspired by other people in the class like I've been, and then just connecting with others and growing and learning. I think it's what was in Danny's speech. And lastly, I would just say, I hope just this 1 minute, you're probably not going to remember. I don't even remember, Lane, what you did, but it was something cool, right? But what I will never forget is it was super freaking inspiring. You did it, and it was so wonderful. I want to learn about it afterwards again, but you won't remember I built some trail, but maybe you remember if you get a spark, Tinder, grow, get your people around you to build it into something more, and it's incredible the universe will get back to you. So anyway, that's my story. Thank you so much.